Hi guys, welcome to episode 2 of my 8 versus 16-bit challenge. And firstly, thanks to everyone who took part, particularly, because without people taking part, there is no challenge. And thanks for everyone else who watched episode 1, and maybe watched some of the submissions from some of the people taking part. So just to kind of summarise what this challenge is, you can go and watch episode 1, where I sort of spell things out and announce the first game, which was Sonic the Hedgehog 2. A particular favourite of mine on the Sega Mega Drive and one of the first games I ever played. So just to recap what this is, so it's basically I grew up starting with a Mega Drive, so I'm primarily a 16-bit and beyond gamer. So had very limited exposure to 8-bit systems, and so each one of these episodes, last one was about 3 weeks ago, and that's roughly the time frame I intend to kind of keep these up with. I played Sonic the Hedgehog 2, so that was my 16-bit game proposal. And then what I asked of anyone who wanted to take part was that they play some of Sonic 2 and then suggest an 8-bit game for me. And so, as I say, 5 people have taken part, all with video submissions as kind of I asked for, which was great. And so for me, it was great watching people playing Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Steve's Gaming was the first to put a video in, and you can kind of see that he's used to playing 8-bit games. And Sonic, there isn't really a game on an 8-bit system, or commonly well-known game, I think, on an 8-bit system where, apart from maybe the Master System ports of Sonic, but even then the Mega Drive ones are a little different. But the speed of Sonic, the kind of inertia, Steve just didn't get on with. I very highly recommend watching that video. It's pretty entertaining seeing him fight Sonic, because sometimes you just have to go with the flow with Sonic and let him continue in the direction he's traveling. Things like Steve wanting to explore everything, whereas actually Sonic, you're going to miss things, and that's part of the beauty. I think you can go back and play again and see different parts of each stage. So yeah, Steve certainly struggled with the game, but he did get to level 2 and he did get a chunk into that, which was great. Then there was a submission from Gary Gill Gaming, and yeah, he got on fine with Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and actually most of the guys did alright. So Gary played, then there was Robert's Retro Gaming, and then Ponder's Retro Goodness, Colin. Both those guys were similar, actually. They were kind of competent, but not were still kind of struggling with the movement a bit. They both got to similar points. So on stage 2, the chemical plant zone, when the kind of blocks start to move, they were starting to struggle with the movement, especially that bit that goes underwater as well. And Sonic kind of slows down. So you've got the inertia and the movement of Sonic, but with a lot slower speed, and so it needs a lot more kind of fine control. Last submission I had was from Blue Yak Retro Computing. Big fan of the Commodore 64. He played Sonic 2. Never again. I don't think any of these guys have played Sonic 2 before. Most of them have played the original, but not number 2, which I would say is a little bit more refined from that first game. He actually did pretty well. I think he was controlling Sonic in a pretty decent manner, and he mentioned that he used to play things like Zool on the Amiga, and there's definitely some similarities there. In some ways, some of those games were inspired. I don't want to say clone, but inspired by Sonic. So he definitely got the controls, but made it to the similar point in level 2 that both Colin and Robert got to, where he then struggled. I thought he was going to get past it because he managed to get over a bit where there's the barrier, there's some platforms that kind of move and you need some very precise jumps. He managed to jump over all of them, which was great. But then ended up falling down and ended up dying with Sonic drowning, and missed the checkpoints as well. So it was all the way back at the beginning of the stage. But as I say, really good watching those. I really enjoyed them. And so I've had 5 8-bit games sent to me. And I've now given them all a play. I've recorded this intro after I've played all the other games. And a bit of a mixed bag. Some really enjoyed. None of them were terrible. But yeah, some I've really enjoyed. So what we'll do now, go into the 8-bit games, and then we'll be on to the next 16-bit game. So here's our first game. So this is a submission from Steve, and Steve is very much a fan of the ZX Spectrum, and he sent me Atic Atac to play. So a game I've heard of, a game I've seen, but never played. So this was released by Ultimate Play the Game. Ultimate Play the Game evolved into Rare, who I'm very familiar with the N64, and this is one of their very early games. So let's fire it up. I played this a couple of times to kind of test it out. The first game I tried was with the keyboard. This is kind of before established keyboard layouts were kind of became the norm, because I think all 4 direction keys and maybe the fire key as well were all in just a line of 5 keys, almost impossible to play. But fortunately, this uses the joystick. We can press 2 for joystick. I'm playing on the Mister, so it recognises my joystick as a Spectrum joystick, and yeah, we'll use the 9. So we'll hit 0 to start the game, and you see the date at the bottom there. So this came out in 1983. So we have our little character here. We can move in each direction, and we have a fire button where we've got a projectile. So watching Steve. Let's not go downstairs yet. So there's a you can pick up items with the Z key on the keyboard, and actually that's one of the nice things about having a keyboard, especially when you've got a one button joystick. It enables extra functionality. So as the knight, each character, you can go through certain doors, or not certain doors, certain items. So you see there's a the armor on the wall there. We can't go through that as the knight, but maybe other characters can. You see the food there, and you see over on the right the our food gauge kind of ticking down. This is kind of going upstairs. So there's a few flaws on this. So this is kind of we can go through the clocks. But that's a trapdoor that we would fall down. I think it being yellow. Oh, we found a key. So the aim of the game is to, I don't want to get hit by the enemy. There we go. Got that. What colour? Oh, it's a red key. Yeah, let's get a bit more health. Nothing we can get through there because we haven't got a green key. So our aim of the game is to basically escape from this. I'm going to call it a castle. And we need to get 3 pieces of the key. At least that's what sort of Steve showed. And there's lots of doors. So these yellow doors. There's 4 different colours of door. See the green door there. 4 different colours of door. And there's we've only got 3 slots in our inventory of things we can carry. Let's get another food, but we can't go through the blue door. Should we drop down? Let's go through this bottom door just to see where it is. Green door. Okay, and let's get the food. So we need some more keys. So we're going to drop down. In terms of the game, actually, I really like it. I think it's really good. I think it plays to the strengths of the. Oh, we've got a red door we can go through. Very good. It plays to the strengths of the Spectrum, and the strengths being particularly that sort of slightly higher resolution. The pictures, reasonably sharp and detailed. It's got some colour, limited colour. Let's drop down. See where it goes. Are we going to end up in the? So we're right at the bottom, kind of underneath the building. It plays to the strengths of the Spectrum in terms of it mostly being kind of only a few colours on screen at any one time. There's another key. Which one's this? I've got the blue key. Okay, very good. There are other items you see. We've got this kind of cross. I think these kind of influence certain enemies. There's another clock we can go through. yeah, there's certain enemies that you can't kill on screen. I think some of those items either make them avoid you or draw them away or draw them to you. I don't know all the details of the food in there. Let's get one of those just to top up. That's something you've got to constantly keep an eye on. But we've got 2 keys. That's not bad. But the kind of exploratory aspect, not having a map. Let's go back and go through all doors. This is a little bit annoying. You've got to kind of wait for the doors to open. So yeah, see this guy. I can't kill him, so you've got to just avoid him. And if you're waiting for a door to open, that's a bit annoying. Go through red door. There's a blue door. We can get through a blue door as well. Let's go back that way in a second. Let's just see if there's anything we've... Okay, so I think one of the other characters can go through the bookcase. We can't, so that's a dead end for us. Red door. Okay, get some more food. And I have some more food, so we've not lost a life yet. That's pretty good going, I think. But yeah, a lot of the time you're just kind of spamming the attack button. Okay, so this is back where we were. So let's not go over to the left a bit more. More food. Oh, I didn't mean to pick up that food. I shouldn't have done that. Hopefully, there seems to be a decent amount of food. Oh, looks like I got caught on the wall. That's my own fault. The other thing is it's very easy to get lost in this game. You end up kind of going, oh yeah, I've already been in this space. Come on, open the door. There we go. A bit more food, that's good. I haven't got a green key. I'll leave that food for the moment. There's another green door there. So I think we probably need to go upstairs. So let's try and find our way upstairs. I'll get that apple. More food. Hopefully this picks us up. Nope. I've been through there, but presumably I've not been through here. Ah, there we go. Back upstairs. We got a blue key. Very good. Okay, so this is somewhere we've not been yet. And there's 2 routes to go, and there's a clock that we can go through. Let's go through the clock. I think we've been here before, have we not? I recognise that, whatever item that was. I don't want to drop down yet. We've got a red key. Okay. There's another... The other thing is that once you've unlocked a door, that door remains unlocked. So if you've got keys, even if you don't want to go that way, it's worth kind of unlocking the doors. Because as I say, there's 4 different colours of key, but you've only got... let's get some food. Is that food? That's not food. Yeah, you've only got three inventory slots. Food. I'm using up quite a bit of the food, but I've not lost a life yet, so that's quite good. That's food. Let's get one. Leave the other. I don't know what the other's supposed to be. It looks more like a ruler or something, but I assume it's like a chocolate bar. I haven't got a green key. That's kind of something we need. I think this. Been here. Blue door. Very good. Another blue door. And that takes us back to where we started. Okay, cool. Did we go this way? Food. I was coming earlier, I think. Where did I go through? Yeah, this is where I came before. It's very easy to get lost, but it's fun. I'm really like really like playing. Really like the game mechanic. It's fast, and that actually makes a big difference. The fact that you move across the screen at a decent lick, and it's responsive, and that you don't need to attack everything either. I think that's quite good. That actually just avoiding enemies if you don't need to. It's more about the exploration. Get the food, then let's just drop down because we couldn't see anywhere we needed to go, and we're back down in the basement. I'm not sure this is where we need to be either. But hopefully we can maybe find a different route upstairs, a different section of the. As I say, going to call it a castle. Can I get through the skeleton? No. Some food, we'll leave that for the moment. Another set of stairs. Is this where we came up before? I think this might be where we came up. Yeah, this is where we came up before. Okay, so we need to go a different way. Let's maybe try and get back to the food. Maybe try and get back to the entrance hall. I think it was kind of this way. And I haven't got the green key. It's funny that you go through the clock, but the door next to it on either side isn't the same door, which physically doesn't make much sense. We're only a bit low on health. I don't want to drop down because that's probably going to take me to the basement again, which I feel like I've exhausted basement options. I think there's 2 floors in the building, and I feel like I've missed things on one of those. I'm going to die now. That's not good. Not much there. We died. Ran out of food. That's our first life. So hopefully we can get through this door. That's down again. Try this way. Oh yeah, I think, does this way take me back to the entrance hall? I think it does, so let's go through here and then... I fell down! That's a bit annoying. But we've fallen somewhere that's not the basement, so there's stuff to be found on this floor, I'm sure. That's down. This I feel like... Yeah, I've definitely seen that guy before. Got to be back up here. And around here somewhere. Back upstairs. And that's that kind of room of 4. And then we're back to the entrance hall. Okay, so that's not too... Let's go up from the floor. And there, so we're going down 1. Up. There's got to be something around here. Basically, I'm just going to play this till I run out of lives. And, here we go. Lots of doors. So, like I said before, let's just open the doors. And we've got red and blue. Down for blue. Blue. 2 reds. That's where we've been already. So, progress. Progress is being made. Up door. This guy. I think I found this guy before. What I did was literally just go through him. And then we've got part of the key. We've got our food. I need to now... Okay, yeah, that's what we want. That's what I want. Both keys. And we've got a bit of the exit key. So... And it was a good tip from Steve that I saw. So if we go this way, I think this will take us back. We can go up, because what we want to do is deposit the main key. Can't get through any of it. Must be. Deposit the main key at the entrance, so that when we, if we were to come and... Is that the right way? Oh no, that's down. There must be another... I think this is the right... Oh yeah, and this is up. Cool. And this... Food... Back at the main entrance hall. So put down that key. Very good. Back down. Starting to learn the map now. It's quite good. It's quite good with it, when you know where you're going.
this way. So we're trying to find the other keys now. So we need the yellow key or the green key. And then that's going to open up quite a few more options. I haven't got the green key. Food. Yellow key, and that guy's. Maybe I could go through the. Sneak past it. Go through the clock. Does that help me? All the way back here. The real question is, where's the next key? I think I've been that way. Let's go this way. It's all green and yellow doors. I think we've unlocked most of the red and the blue ones. And that clock will take us. Yeah, that's back behind the guy. I'm sure you can probably do something a bit more clever to get past him, but we just take the hit. Maybe we just need to go back to the basement. Maybe something we've missed there. Let's try falling down here. That hopefully will open up, unless that's locked with the yellow. There we go. And get our food is always appreciated. Oh, God, by that guy. No, maybe not. Green door, yeah, haven't got a green key. Don't need the food yet. Blue door, okay, here we go, somewhere new. Can't help but with all those exits, you've probably been here before, we've probably been either side of the door. Not sure what those mushrooms are, they're flashing, so I'm assuming they're bad. Through the clock. Food. Back up though. That doesn't feel right. I'm sure we've been here. Been here before. But yeah, I do really like the exploration of this. And the not knowing where you're going, gradually learning the map. I think as you played it more and more, you'd probably get used to it. But there definitely seems like enough challenge if you wanted to complete the game. Like, not crazy amounts. Assuming that once you get out of the building, that is the end of the game. Which I think it might be, because it gives you like a percentage at the end. Not sure what that is. A few routes there, so I think there must be some places we've not been. We're going to end up dying now, aren't we? Food. This is where when you're running low on health. Yeah, green door. Need the green key, but we've not been able to find it. Food. Just lost now. I think we're going to end up running out of health. Yeah, succumbing. This guy killed me last time. Up and out at this point. I thought the basement might have been the right way to go, but not. Back upstairs. Oh yeah, health. Oh yeah, that's just what we needed. But I think we've mostly eaten the food that's around. Available to us. Oh, for those enemies. key door. Maybe I need to just randomly drop down now. Oh, we died here before. What was through the clock? That was back there. Let's go get that ice cream. Kind of mopping up all the food that's around. Meat there. And oh, this takes us back to the beginning, does it not? I think I did this last time, didn't I? Accidentally fell through the hole. So we're now on the middle level, I'm guessing. So any more falls surely are going to take us. Take us back to the basement. That's behind the. Yeah, remember that. So yeah, we're struggling with the yellow key and the green key. We're going up in that. Yeah, something new. We're going down here. There's definitely got to be maybe it's a trapdoor that I've got to get through, and you land the other side of a locked door, something along those lines. And maybe there's a key. Back to here. I'm dead. Oh no, we've got one more life. But there's no food around unless we can make some progress. Let's try dropping down here. Here it goes. Some food, which usually a sign it might be somewhere we've not been before. Definitely been before that, haven't we? I'll go through. This guy, I've seen you before. Oh, I don't think we've been through there because there's up. This can't be right. I think maybe I've been this way. Was that food that had respawned then? Because I'm sure we've been that way. But I'm not going to say no. It's a bit of food. Yeah, we're not long for this world now. Presumably that's probably when we go and stumble across a key that we've been. Oh. That guy didn't finish me off. Food. Is this somewhere we've not been? Green door, I think we've been there. Been here before. Let's try this way. Yeah, it's just all spaces I've been previously. We're about to die. So yeah, I'll start wrapping this up before there we go, and then we died. So yeah, actually I think this game's really cool. I really like it. I've played it a few times now. You know, if I learned a bit more, probably be able to complete it, I reckon. It'd be interesting to see what the other characters do too. So definitely some depth here, definitely some reason to kind of play a couple of times. Games don't last too long. You know, I was playing for like, what, 20 minutes or something? How long is that? Yeah, about 20 minutes or so. So yeah, good choice, and let's move on to the next game. Okay, so next up we're on the Commodore 64. So we've got Atamant, Up and Atom, and this was a game suggested by Gary Gill Gaming. So yeah, let's fire this up. Not a game I'm at all
familiar with. I mean, Ataman, I think, is based on a cartoon. Kind of. What's the button? I think the fire button. So yeah, Ataman is a Hanna-Barbera cartoon. This game was released in 1990, I think. Kind of said on the opening screen, and apparently it was a budget release as well. So not necessarily the same expectation as a full price game, but yeah, certainly when I saw Gary playing it, it looks quite nice. Good use of color, good level of detail, and yeah, basically you control Ataman here with the joystick, and we're flying down, picking these bombs up, taking them to the top. I've never seen the cartoons, so for what reason we're doing this, I have no idea. Got hit. So yeah, there's various kind of on screen enemies, I guess, or things to hurt you. From the helicopter there to these the birds flying across. This is in the crack of this game. There's an option for unlimited lives, unlimited time. I pressed no to both of those, yet we still have unlimited lives and unlimited time. So usually you would have 4 lives and a 3 minute timer. But even this first level's there's a bit of trickiness to it, and yeah, the game's very much in a kind of arcade style. Underneath that, yeah, there we go. But yeah, I mean, this game is it seems pretty simple. I mean, this level looks quite nice, and there's quite a nice effect on the castle there. I can imagine it getting a bit repetitive, maybe if you played it more. But I definitely wouldn't describe this as a bad game. And maybe for it's quite arcade style. Maybe for something like a high score challenge or something like that. Where you're kind of more constrained on the number of lives. It might be alright. Are they sugar cubes that fall down from the sky? They seem to be either bonuses or power-ups of some kind. Not sure what they do. Let's complete this level. See what the next one's like, and then move on. Because yeah, I'm guessing this is the main mechanic here. Flying around, and I guess it's a case of getting used to the. I have got another life from somewhere, because it's gone from maybe when I completed the level you get an extra life, but because we've got auto lives, we're not losing any. Other side. Because you haven't got much view either up or down, it's easy to get kind of caught by the enemies, it looks like, especially if you're not kind of familiar with where they typically would be. We've done level 2. I think we probably lost more than the lives we were allocated at the beginning. Okay, so we've got another kind of building here, a bit like the first stage. Oh, those aeroplanes now flying across. They're coming through a little bit quicker on. And we got hit by one. Cool. I think we'll call it a day there. Because I think the game mechanic is probably going to stay fairly simple. But yeah, I mean, for what I'm guessing, according to Gary said, was a budget title. Oh, and I guess that looks like a time power up as well. For a budget title, it's certainly very playable in a very arcade style. it looks pretty decent, which I guess is also what you might expect from a later C64 game. It looks like we haven't got in-game music, although there was an opening tune playing at the beginning. So an okay one. Probably not one I'm going to return to, but I'm not disappointed that I've given it a go. So yeah, on to the next one. Okay, so we're on to our next game. And now a third different machine. So we're on to the Atari 800. So this is a suggestion from Robert's Retro Gaming. And the game is Spelunker. So we've still got a black screen here. We see the music started kicking in. Firstly, I think this intro is really cool. You know, the music is nice. It sounds kind of ominous almost. And just sort of gradually builds, starting with the dark screen. Now showing the name of the game. It took me a bit of time to work out how to get the Atari 800 working properly. The full intro is quite nice. But yeah, I'll start the game and I'll tell you about getting the game going. So the Atari 800, you have to hold the I can't remember the name of the button. I wrote it down. The option button, I think. Which I'm on the Mister, so this is behaving like original hardware. So you have to hold this option button, and that disables basic, which we've fallen off the rope, which many of the games don't actually. So that's something I found straight away quite annoying. You can like fall off the ropes, so you can kind of move slightly left and right, and if you're too far left, you just fall off. So we've been picking a few things up. That's definitely dynamite there. Oh, there's see that ghost appear in the top right there. So we can get the ghost. I think we press space. Yeah. Only got me. I thought we could kill him. You've got a few things you can use. So the dynamite at the bottom there. Yeah, the space that does this attack of some sort that kills the ghosts. Can we just do it? Oh, that's F. Whoops. F's fire the flare. Oh, it killed us again! What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to hold the space bar? I thought that was supposed to kill them. I can't remember what year this... the ghost is still there. Yeah, then run. Oh, that looks like it did kill the ghost, so maybe we have to activate that thing 3 times and then that kills the ghost. But yeah, I mean, it's no doubt an early game, given the kind of whole look of the graphics and things. It's probably not my style of game. It's a little bit slow. It's a little bit kind of clunky almost, with the way you kind of navigate the stages. What's that? Strange green thing, but I don't know what it is. Don't know what that bird thing there is. Oh. Ah, I bounced off whatever the pink blob is. Yeah, that was kind of annoying. There we go. Now, what do we reckon those spinning green dots are? I'm gonna give us a bag of points, and then we've fallen off the ladder. Fuck's sake. Is that game over? Yeah, I think that's game over. I have played this a couple of times before and not really got much further than that. Not my sort of game. I can see if you're really into it, if you had it back in the day and you wanted to play through, there might be some appeal. but for me, a bit too clunky. You know, the keyboard controls, even just simple things like firing up the bloody Atari 800 on the Mister was a bit of a pain. So, yeah, okay, not as a 16-bit gamer, not really for me, a bit too basic in that regard. So cool, next game. Okay, so on to game number 4. So this is a suggestion from Colin, Retro Ponder, or Ponder's Retro Goodness, one of those. And yeah, this is Pitstop II. So there's no splash screen, no title screen, and you just go straight into this menu. So we've got the number of drivers. So this is a racing game, as the name Pitstop II might suggest. Choice of track, there's a few. We'll stick with good old Brands Hatch. Number of laps and the level of difficulty. So we'll hit start the race with the fire button. Type our name in. Oh, can't type my name in. There we go. Lewis, press your button. There we go. So remembering from Colin's video, you've got the fire button to accelerate, but then up is also accelerate. If you don't press both of them together, you don't get the kind of top speed and the full acceleration. I mean, first impressions of this, it reminds me of you know, the arcade game Pole Position. It's definitely got that same kind of style of game. It's quite impressive that they've got kind of basically two games running at once, pretty much, where you're filling both halves of the screen with either, you know, with you at the top, and then you can either play 2 players, where, you know, player 2 would be at the bottom, or the computer at the bottom, so you can kind of see them at each point. I mean, certainly as a sort of technical achievement, I think that's pretty impressive. And the game looks pretty good. There's a good sense of speed, good, pretty decent scrolling effect here. The cars look alright. They look like a kind of Formula 1 style single seater. And this game, I think, was 1983 or 1984. So yeah, Formula 1 cars at that point had, you know, already become covered in aerodynamic wings and things. So yeah, we can see those here, as we were both getting stuck behind that car. So one of the features of this game, one of the reasons it's called Pitstop 2, is that you do have to make pit stops, and we can see there's these colours on the tyres that you know, certainly Colin described. And as you either kind of bump into enemies or as you continue around the track, those colours change, indicating damage to your tyres. So after maybe the end of this lap, we'll actually go and take a pit stop, and we'll have a look and see what that's like. The racing itself is fine. The cars handle all right. The enemy cars are certainly a bit annoying to get past. They're considerably slower than you are, but it's not really a race against them. It's a race against the opponent here. Comparing it to Pole Position, that obviously has a wheel and an analog input. I think when we were playing, most people were using a mouse. With the digital inputs in racing games don't really work that well, because you're constantly kind of tweaking your sort of steering angle as you're going around bends. Analog is, even in, you know, 8 and 16-bit land, analog is still where it's at for a racing game. But overall, you know, for an 8-bit racing game, I think it's pretty impressive. So let's go and try and make a pit stop. I think we're on the pit straight. We're about to go past the start-finish line. Here are the pits over here. So the pits here are very janky, I would say. You control the pit crew. I want to get a. Oh, I've got to get the front tyre, and I've gone to the back. I need to get more fuel as well. Okay, so that tyre's now good. You stick the tyre on. I mean, to be honest, like, this is just nothing more than a gimmick. I'm going to put fuel in. Let's change the other front tyre as well. So we're basically going to lose the race because how janky the pit stops are. That's fine. You go back. There we go. And let's go out the pit lane. So yeah, that pit mechanic is just terrible. My opinion there is that it basically just ruined the game. I can see they've tried to do it to add something, but it's so clunky. It's just not enjoyable, is it? Really, when you want to be on track racing. I can see this being pretty good for two people. Having both cars on screen. That's got to be the major appeal. But if you had a C64 back in the day, you probably didn't have any friends to play with, so maybe a unnecessary function there. I jest, of course. Oh, my brand new front tyres, they're already looking pretty worse for wear. I think Colin was saying you can do this race, 3 laps without needing to pit, but we had to experience the awful pit stop, didn't we? And actually, if it's 3 laps and you don't need to pit, oh, he's finished now. I was going to say, is he pitted again? They're coming down the pit straight, yeah. So we're not far behind. But yeah, okay racing game. Ruined by terrible pit stops. So yeah, that's Pitstop 2. For the system, for an 8-bit system, impressive. To play today, I have no nostalgia for games like this, so probably won't be one I'll be returning to. So yeah, on to the next one. Yeah, so now we've got our final game, and this game is called Raid on Bungeling Bay. So this is a suggestion from Blue Yak Retro Computing, friend of mine from Instagram who takes part in the high score kerfuffle. So this game is a top-down helicopter game, and it's another one from Broderbund Software. So we had Spelunker, and this is a later game from them. Came out in 1980. What have I got here? 1984. Whereas I think Spelunker was 1983, maybe. But yeah, similar to Spelunker, we got a nice little intro there, and then the game loads. Just wait for this red bar. It goes up about 20% of the screen, and then the game loads. Just have to wait. I mean, this, I guess, is one of the things with 8-bit computers that would have loaded off of often a cassette. Yeah, having to wait for them to load up. So yeah, so we've got our aircraft carrier here, and our helicopter. I think if we press the fire button, then we take off. Left and right, it's kind of like tank controls, or helicopter controls. Left and right rotate, forwards accelerates, back slows down or reverses. We've obviously got one fire button, so we tapping it fires, and then if you hold it for a split second, then it drops a bomb. So the aim, I think, from what I saw of the footage from Blue Yak, is to go over these factories, drop bombs on them until they blow up. I think we've used all our bombs there. Let's go back to the. We can go back to the aircraft carrier. Fire button, and then we've got our bombs back. Let's go bomb this factory again. See if we can destroy it. Let's back up over it. Let's try. There we go. Destroyed that one. And it seems that once you've destroyed one, the enemy starts to get a bit pissed, and a few more things start to appear and chase you down. So stock up on our bombs again. We've got the map at the bottom. I think that's quite a nice touch. The resolution of the map makes it particularly difficult to work out what's going on. There's something there. I can destroy that. Something else here. So it's a case of kind of work out what in yellow on the map that I'm actually supposed to shoot. There's a boat. Alright. But yeah, the last game I had, I kind of lost my aircraft carrier, and then it got destroyed. Oh, and there we see a plane appear. Okay, so the aircraft carrier's there. Let's now go try and find another factory and try and destroy that. The mechanics, though, and the way the game plays, I think is really good. Again, it's pretty. Scrolling is super smooth. It's fast. Decent number of enemies that move fairly quickly. So here we go. Your carrier is under attack. Let's check that bit out, and then let's go try and find the aircraft carrier. It was over here somewhere. There we go. Yeah, suck on that. But yeah, your aircraft carrier can be destroyed. So there's some, it's not just an action game. There's a bit of strategy involved. Take out, but because it has the sort of, what's I guess in video games known as kind of tank controls. Because it has that control scheme. Actually, it does feel like a helicopter. I don't know whether can just keep bombing the same place, or whether it just takes a certain number of bombs. It did seem to take pretty much all of my bombs to destroy the. So let's get back to the aircraft carrier. Slow down. Okay. And let's go again. Oh, pressed the fire button when I was going slowly over the. Any more enemies in proximity? Things over here. Okay, let's take these boats out. I don't know where they're going. The aircraft carrier's the other way. But yeah, reading on Wikipedia, this game was developed by Will Wright, and basically the sort of some of the city layouts inspired him to. I think that's signifying death of the old helicopter. Yeah, you're going too slowly over the factory. I assume we go back to the aircraft carrier. Yeah, there we go. I assume one of those numbers at the bottom is our number of lives. But yeah. After this game, or a chunk after this game, end up developing SimCity. So I think the kind of top-down city layouts, there was some inspiration through designing those. To then think about more of a city-based game rather than a sort of helicopter attack type game. Got a few there. I need to find a little arrow there as well. I think that, yeah, okay. So that's to help you find the aircraft carrier. There we go. How many bombs we got? I've still got 9 bombs. We often find another factory. Yeah, because I'd say my issue earlier was losing the aircraft carrier. But there are, it's nice that there's little pointers in there to help you, even though it's not necessarily. What? Where did that gun post come from? I'm sure it wasn't there a second ago. Okay, destroyed that one. Pretty good. Let's head back to the aircraft carrier. Am I going slower now? Have I taken some damage and I'm... Okay. Land. Oh, bastard. Come on, let's go again. Oh, it's going slow over the aircraft carrier. Makes you land. Enemy battleship nearing completion. Interesting. It's kind of cool. Like there's definitely some. It's not, as I said, it's not just an action game. There's some strategy required as well. So yeah, for that reason, I'd say it's pretty decent. Oh no! Oh. Taking too many hits. Cool. We'll call it a day there, I think. Yeah, pretty good. Quite like that one. Not the sort of style of game I play a lot of. It's kind of it is a kind of shooter, but it obviously has the the ability to scroll in all directions. So yeah, enjoyable one. So actually, that's the final game. So I had five submissions of 8-bit games. So let's do a little wrap up before we move on to the next 16-bit game. So yeah, the 5 games we have Atac from Steve. Then we've had what do we have next? Atamant from Gary. We had Spelunker from Robert. Pitstop II from Colin, and now Raid on Bungeling Bay from Blue Yak. For me personally, I think there's a stand-up winner. I mean, it's got to be Atac. I think that I really enjoyed. It's one I will go back to. It's one I'll try and complete, hopefully. Honourable mentions go to this, I think, Raid on Bungeling Bay. And actually Atamant was fine. That's probably the middle of the road. Spelunker and Pitstop II probably enjoyed less so. But at the same time, great to see kind of the history of games, how they've evolved, and that was the kind of point of this little series. So yeah, now on to the next 16-bit game, and yeah, hopefully see another round of 8-bit games in the next episode. So our next game is not 1 game, but 3. And that's the games on the compilation that is Mega Games 1. So anyone who was paying attention last time will have remembered that I mentioned when I got my Mega Drive and the Christmas of '93. It came with Sonic the Hedgehog 2 that we had last time, and Mega Games 1. And so Mega Games 1 was a compilation of Super Hang-On, World Cup Italia 90, and Columns. And it was obviously a kind of budget title. When you load the cartridge up, it goes straight into this menu to choose the game. So what I'm going to do is play all 3, because I have fond memories of pretty much all of these. Anyone kind of wanting to take part and then submit an 8-bit game, you can play all three if you want. If not, just play the one that takes your fancy. So let's load up Super Hang-On. So this is obviously a port of the Sega arcade game. So we're going to play initially the arcade mode, and then we'll have a look at the original mode as well, which is unique to this version of Super Hang-On. Oh, we went fast enough through the menu. There we go. So we'll just start with the beginner stage. Got the selection of the music just like the arcade. Let's go with Sprinter. So back in the day when I had this, I was too young to really properly play it, I think. You know, as a child, the concept of even letting off the accelerator was a foreign one. And in this game, if you just hold the accelerator down, you pretty much can't complete the stages. Because when you hit anything that's on the side of the track, you go flying off. Something that's different between this game and the arcade. Obviously, back in the day, I didn't know what the arcade was like. I didn't even realise that this was a port of an arcade game. There's no boost button. I guess the console can't handle the extra speed. So in the arcade, when you hit the max speed and the speedo changes to red, you press the boost button and then you go even faster. That's not a feature here, which is a bit of a shame, because actually that's one of the sort of most enjoyable features of the arcade game. But you know, you can understand for given hardware limitations. But graphically, I mean, I think this looks pretty good. I mean, this is obviously a very early Mega Drive game, which is why it's then appeared on a compilation. But yeah, I think they've done a pretty good job of, you know, certainly as an adult and having played the arcade game, I think they've done a pretty good job of at least getting the game to look like the arcade. You obviously don't have the analog controls of the arcade, so there's lots of kind of tapping of the direction, the D-pad, to control it. And you see we've run out of time there. The checkpoint shouldn't have been too far, but you know, even one crash there, we've not been able to complete. So it's got the difficulty of the arcade as well. But what I kind of wanted to feature, so we'll kind of skip that, is the original mode. This is really interesting. It's kind of quite a different setup. It's almost has RPG elements. So basically, you are in a team. You see, we've got a mechanic and a sponsor, and a rival at the top. And the idea is that you complete each stage, beating your rival. And actually, one of the keys is not smacking your bike up, because when you crash, it damages the parts. And then when you go to the shop, you see here it says top condition because we've just started. But these then start breaking, and you can't race without upgrading those parts, or at least replacing the parts like for like. As you get more money and you make progress, you can change your mechanic for a better one. As you start to win, your sponsor gets better and you get more money. So that is quite a nice dynamic to the game. This was something, again, I just never put enough time in, or was too young to properly kind of understand how to play this, and realise that actually you don't need to go that fast because the races aren't that difficult. It's more about not crashing in the early stages. The other thing is that, you know, here, because we've just played the arcade mode, the bike is noticeably slower because it's not upgraded with all the parts. I think all we need to do is pretty much just stay on the track, don't crash into the trees. yeah, we'll do this, and then hopefully we can do this without crashing. We might need to overtake someone at some point. Yeah, I've definitely got fond memories of this, and it's a game I kind of, you know, I had the Mega Drive, or was playing the Mega Drive significantly from, you know, when I got it when I was like 7.5 through to the age of about 11, something like that. And so it was a game that I played, you know, or went back to as I got older, as a sort of 7 or 8 year old. As I say, couldn't really get on with it, but as a, like, you know, 9 or 10 year old, you know, I started to kind of get the hang of things and realised that, you know, maybe you did have to brake to get around the corners. As I say, I'm just taking it easy and trying not to crash. Because yeah, unlike the arcade mode where basically you need to go flat out, here it's much more kind of attrition based. You just want to keep on the track. Okay, accelerate past that guy. Yeah, I mean, this game, you know, was ported to a number of systems. I didn't play it on anything else, but some of the other home ports aren't that great. I think this is probably one of the best home ports of this game, certainly in the early 90s. And yeah, as I say, it's not a bad game. And this original mode, you know, whilst it gets a bit annoying, especially when you crash and you have to spend your money replacing the parts, you know, if you were going to put the time in, you know, it's probably reasonably rewarding. One thing about this though, I don't think it has an on-cartridge save, so it has kind of a password system, which also gets kind of annoying because the passwords are extremely long and you've got to write them down and then type them back in. So yeah, so because we won that race, we've now got $1,200, which you know, we could use to upgrade our mechanic. So we've got the cheapest mechanic, and potentially we could upgrade our parts as well. This game's usually, from what I remember, it's worth keeping a bit of money in reserve to make sure you know you can upgrade your parts when you break them. So we'll go end. You see it comes up with the password there, and so yeah, so this is Super Hang-On. So yeah, fond memories of that. Decent port. These days, you know, why would you not play the arcade game? So what I'm going to do is reset the console, and it takes us straight back to the menu. So next up, we're going to play World Cup Italia 90. So again, I remember quite clearly playing this. We're going to play do the World Cup. I remember like looking at the different countries, and either I would play as England. I remember just playing as USSR just because it was like the biggest country on the map, and I thought that was a positive thing. And you know, as I learned a bit more, I thought maybe I'd play as Brazil as well. But yeah, we'll play as England. Oh, we can play Scotland as well. Alan will be pleased. So yeah, England, speed of 5, skill of 2, defense of 4, keeper 5, total 4. So I think 4 out of 5's. I think everything's out of 5. So actually, that's probably not bad. Not very skillful though. Oh, we get to pick the players, and the players are obviously unofficial. So Silton, obviously that's Peter Shilton. Do I have to pick all the players? I'm not that bothered. Yeah, the names are like ever so slightly out. Yeah. But some of them are right? That's Gary Lineker.
Why was Shilton Silton but Lineker was Lineker? I have no idea, because I'm guessing they didn't have the like official FIFA license for this. Well, then maybe they did if it was the you know, actual kind of tournament game. But you know, when I was like 8 years old, you know, football players, you know, football was not really my major interest. So yeah, I wouldn't have known one player from another. But I do remember playing this and do remember enjoying it. So just trying to remember the controls. So so the Mega Drive only has 3 buttons. So the A button is, you know, hoof it. I think that's probably shoot as well. The B button is pass along the floor. I just remember just booting it up the field, not really knowing what I was doing. But I think eventually maybe I did win the World Cup. Okay, can I pressed the wrong button. I pressed the pass button. I think I probably should have pressed A to. Okay. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, football games on the, you know, around this time, I don't think were very good. I guess sensible soccer gets, you know, is generally seen is pretty good, but that wasn't really a game I spent, you know, really any time with. It wasn't really until the likes of sort of Pro Evo, around the kind of like, you know, PS2 type generation, that I really started playing football games. Oh, I'd like to score. Okay, get a shot off. Ah, keeper got it. Yeah, I mean, playing this today, it just feels tedious. What does the C button do? Oh, it's C like sprint or something. Or maybe C's sprint. Oh, I can. Why didn't he shoot? How did the keeper get like to the ball like through me? Oh, I remember that the kind of header animation where the player just dives and you just see them just like laid out on the floor, even though they've just, you know, just done a header, just dived for a header, because obviously they're pretty limited to what they can do with. Oh, missed. Oh. Clear it. Oh no, no! What the hell was that? Yes, just clear it. Come on, you idiots. And like there, wasn't that animation him doing like an overhead bicycle kick? Or what is that about? So yeah, like for me this game is just not enjoyable. As I say, I used to play it and I used to find it okay, that was really when I was quite young, just getting into football. But yeah, I'd say this is probably worse than my memory would sort of suggest. Really clunky. Yeah, take him out.
Half time. Oh, this is just awful. The other thing is, I guess you have got the map on the right, because the view you've got is not of much of the pitch. So knowing who to pass to is almost impossible. So really, you just end up just either dribbling it or just beating it, hoping that one of your players picks it up. And I don't think you can foul them, because you can just pretty much slide from anywhere, and you either get the ball or you don't. Okay. Oh, I thought we were going to have a chance. Literally, I'm just hammering beat. Oh my gosh, the keeper made a mess of it. And no. God. Oh, what? I also remember that the keeper can, and that was an overhead kick, wasn't it? Again, makes no sense. So, like, from outside the penalty box, the players will do diving headers and bicycle kicks. Oh no! I mean, the only thing that's entertaining me now is kind of the hilarity of it, because I'm mostly just hammering the B button, and the players are doing all sorts of crazy shit. Ah. Okay. Go. I don't know where the other players are, but I still seem to vaguely remember that you can kind of almost dribble around the keeper. I think we're going to get a ball draw against Yugoslavia. Have some. But yeah, in terms of this resembling a game of football, other than the grass being green, yeah, it kind of doesn't, does it? Time up. Yeah, I mean, basically that was shit, wasn't it? I'm not going to play another game, because that is terrible. If you're not going to play all the games, just don't play this one. Okay, let's move on. So yeah, World Cup Italia 90, not recommended. Columns, though, comes highly recommended, because this is a game I've played even today. and my love for columns knows no bounds. So Columns, obviously a port of the Sega arcade game. Like Super Hang-On, there's an arcade mode and a kind of original mode as well. So we'll have a quick go of the arcade mode. The arcade mode's the most difficult, I think. It has the most kind of different number of jewels. And you know, Columns is a classic. I enjoyed it back in the day, and I enjoy it now. It's a game we had in the high score kerfuffle, and surprise, I won that week. Partly just because no one else enjoys it, and that can make such a huge difference in games like this. I will just happily play game after game of this, and it suits the way I think, and yeah, just love playing Columns. So yeah, the aim of the game is to match 3 of the same coloured jewel. And basically that's it. I mean, basically the blocks keep falling down, and you keep going until you run out of space on the board. The trick, I would say, is when you don't have a match, is to line up a diagonal rather than putting the blocks on top to match the colours, because of the fact that if you put it straight on top, you have to clear the block on top before you can then clear that set. So you want to put it on a diagonal, obviously a horizontal or vertical if it's available. But if you don't, either just try and put it somewhere as best you can. As I say, try and match a diagonal. Other than that, it's just a case of getting used to the patterns and doing the best you can. The other thing that's, for me very memorable about this game is the music. It's one of those ones that's just completely, stuck in my head and won't ever go away, I would say. Again, one of those ones you don't need to be hearing the music, yet you can still, play it along in your mind. Nice combo there. Let's play until it starts to get a bit more challenging, and then we'll probably just call it a day there. Actually, so the original mode is really just mostly a kind of dumbed down version of this. So it limits the number of different kind of colours of blocks that you have. The easy one only has, I don't know, 3 or 4 different colours of block, which makes it a lot easier because you're going to get matches much more frequently. I think those are the main modes. I can't remember whether there's flash columns in this, which is another kind of flavour of columns where Sega were trying to milk the concept. This obviously came out around the kind of boom of the success of Tetris, where suddenly puzzle games in the arcade were a thing that weren't really before. We went up a level there, and actually it's slower than what it was. So I think we were on level 5, and then when it goes to level 6, it actually becomes easier and lightens up a little bit. It gives you a bit of respite. You can maybe work on clearing any build-up.
but then it quickly starts to speed up again. Oh, I made a mistake. I didn't mean to put that like that. I meant to line up the red so that I could take out that orange. Starting to get a bit quicker, and I'm beginning to struggle. Probably a little bit rusty as well. Certainly when we had it in the kerfuffle, playing it the number of times that I did in a short period of time. Yeah, all that kind of memory and sort of fine tuning came back. Get the diagonal there. And something I've not mentioned is the controller that I'm using here. So for the Mega Drive, and I'm playing on the Mister, to kind of, you know, emulate the Mega Drive, I'm using a Sega Saturn controller. Oh, that was a mistake as well. You know, the Sega Saturn really is the evolution of the Mega Drive controller. And just get us. Well, that was nice. Thought we were going to be calling it a day, but we're still in this. Nice. Oh, that was a bit lucky. I didn't really plan that, but happy for a happy accident like that. It's laid down. Nice. That's what we need. Try and clear a few bits if we can. I've lost it. Oh yeah, that little bit in the music, really like that. No, I don't want you to go faster. Struggling as it is. The one thing about when you get lots of blocks on screen, it does mean that you know, you're more likely to get those kind of chance matches, chance combos. Especially if you put diagonals in. Things have gone nuts. Nice. Oh, 3 yellows, can't do anything with it though. It's going too fast. I mean, I'm impressed we're still in this. Yellow, what are we gonna do with that? Well, it's being generous, isn't it? It's enough things that can keep us in the game. Yeah. Nah, that's got to be it now. Not faster. That's it. There we go. 66,000. So yeah, I mean, if you were going to play any of the 3 games we've played,
my choice would definitely be columns. I could play this game all day. But yeah, that kind of wraps up our next 16-bit game, which is Mega Games 1. With the 3 games you've got here. Basically, I would just say don't play World Cup Italia 90. It's clearly not great. But yeah, thanks for everyone who's put 8-bit game submissions in. I think it's quite a... I'm pleased that we've got some engagement there from folks. Have a go on this, and I look forward to your next suggestions of 8-bit games that we could play. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you another 2 or 3 weeks again for the next one of these. See you then. Bye.